Andrea, how are you doing today?
Hey, hi, Doc. I'm doing great.
All right. What a great day.
Yeah, it's pretty nice here. It's cold, but we have no snow, so it feels pretty good.
What do you mean you have no snow?
We have no snow on the ground.
You have no snow on the ground.
We have
What's
no,
with that?
I don't know, but I like it.
Is that the global warming thing?
No, I don't think so. I don't believe in that.
You don't think it's really global warming?
Hey, while we're waiting for people to come on, tell me about Tim Proctor here. I see on our Facebook page, he's lost considerable amount of weight.
Oh, I didn't see that. How
Oh,
much
you
is he off?
It says shared when I began my journey with Sizzle products, I was 426 pounds. Today, 2 years later, I'm putting on my own shoes and mowing the lawn and property. Thank you, Sizzle and Tom and Tim Proc. Oh, it isn't Tim, it's Philip.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I was just saying that's not Tim Proctor's.
And he now weighs 274. Says go age pill.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to get him on our call. I'd like to get him. I'd like to get Jimmy O'Keefe on here to share their stories because
Yeah.
it's those kinds of success stories that really it gets people excited.
Yeah, really. That's
Because I think
fabulous.
sometimes, wouldn't you agree that a lot of people they watch people like Oprah Winfrey, for example.
Right.
She's big, then she's small, then she's big, then she's small, and then she's big. You know, right?
Yeah, the yo-yo thing. Yep.
Yeah, and a lot of people, a lot of diets go that direction. And they don't show you that when you see the TV advertisements. I'm hearing about what, a week right after Christmas. All we're going to see is weight loss commercials on TV, right?
Right, right.
And they don't say, oh yeah, he lost 30 pounds, but he put it back on by the 4th of July.
Right.
And the problem with yo-yo dieting, it's hard on the system.
It is. Yeah, I've read that.
It's hard on the system, and on top of that, it's not only is it hard on the system, but it makes it harder for you to lose weight the next time.
Right.
It's just like with cigarette smoking, right? You used to run a laser cigarette smoking clinic, right? Where you could get people to quit smoking using laser acupuncture.
Yep.
I did the same thing in my clinic. And what I always taught people, or, in the beginning, like I'd ask them, I'd say, have you tried to quit before?
Right. That was always the standard question. Yep.
Have you tried to quit before? And usually most people would say, yeah, I've tried, a dozen times.
Yep.
And then you'd ask them, and it's the same thing goes for weight loss. Have you tried to lose weight before?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you ask me that question, I'm going to tell you yes.
Right.
Right. Is it easier to lose weight now than it was when I was, overweight, but 50 pounds lighter than I am now?
Well, it's easier when you're younger, I think.
Well, it had to do with being younger, but also because of the fact that once your body has gained and lost a couple times, your system develops a pattern, and it's not good.
Mm-hmm. So you have to break out of that fad diet thing of losing it real fast and go for the slow and steady.
Yeah, slow and steady, and develop lifestyle changes that really work for you, because your life is different than mine.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to develop a lifestyle change that's going to work for you, right? And
Right.
maybe part of the problem is so many people, they just don't know how to eat. Like I remember, I'm going to tell you this story, and you're going to laugh. I was trying to lose weight,
Yeah.
and I thought, well, I'm only going to eat healthy food.
Okay.
Makes sense, right? I'm only going to eat healthy
You would
food.
think so, right?
And so I went to the grocery store and I bought Diet Coke because there's no
I'm already
calories.
laughing.
There's no calories in it, right? There's no calories in it, Andrea. It's like drinking water.
Well,
That's what they want you to believe, right?
Right.
And I bought bagels because I thought, well, bagels, they're better than bread.
Let me tell you about bagels.
Let me tell you about bagels.
I have two things to say about bagels. Just get the hot glue gun out and glue them right to your hips because that's where they're going. Secondly, I actually walked into a house one time that I was selling where someone had died in that house 2 or 3 years before. And there was a bag of very well-known bagels sitting on the counter, still not moldy.
They were her bagels from before she died?
Yeah.
So they've been sitting there for 2 years.
It's still not moldy.
Still not moldy. Huh. Wow, imagine that.
That's scary.
Yeah. But they put stuff in that flour and that wheat to make it so it doesn't, even the bugs won't eat it.
That's right.
But yeah, those were two of the choices. Yogurt. I bought yogurt.
Because a long time ago.
Right. But think about it. Isn't this what a lot of people think? They think, well, bagels, that's healthy, right? There's nothing in a bagel that's not healthy for you. I bought, yogurt. They say that yogurt's great for you. It's got, all those good bacteria. Isn't that good for you?
Oh yeah.
Right. And then I bought Diet Coke because there's no calories in it.
Is that what you lived on?
Andrea, are you making fun of me?
A little bit.
You're making me feel bad. I'm going to start crying.
But hey, let's do this. Let's talk about what you've been doing recently.
Right. Well, I was waiting for you to give your smart remarks about Diet Coke because, I know you're loaded, ready to hit me with it. What's wrong with Diet Coke?
Well, it's all chemicals for one thing.
It's all chemicals. What do you mean? They say on TV it's all natural stuff.
Well, if you see the latest reports, it'll tell you it'll kill you. No, it is. It's all chemicals and it has aspartame in it.
Aspartame? Well, that's made with all natural things.
No, it's a man-made molecule that your body doesn't even know what to do with.
Yeah, it doesn't even know what to do with it, right? That's the latest. We read up on that all the time now that, you're going to gain just as much weight drinking diet pop. You might lose some in the beginning because it really doesn't have calories. But eating a rock, that doesn't have calories either.
This is true.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say eat a stick, but stick would have calories.
Well, let's go. We talked about bagels. We talked about diet soda. Now let's talk about that yogurt that is full of what?
What?
Sugar.
Sugar? Come on. No, it's
sugar.
Yogurt. It's natural. It's good for you. It's got all those little things in them. Those probiotics.
Yeah, but not very many and one kind. So
yeah,
not
but
very effective. Plus,
come on, it's good for you.
No, it's bad for you.
Bad for you. Huh. Wow. Huh. Now, I don't know, Andrea. I think you're one of those conspiracy thinkers.
If you had fresh goat's milk or whatever and you were making your own yogurt, it might be really good for you, but what you buy in the store is not good for you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your recent path to a change in life.
Yeah. Well, before we get into that, really, I just want to tell you, Andrea, that was, if you go back, I think my weight gain really started back in college.
Yeah.
Back in the early 80s, right? My roommate and I, during the day, we drank a lot of Mountain Dew.
Oh, that'll do it. You can gain 30 pounds in 2 months drinking pop every day like that.
That's pretty much what I gained was 30 pounds. And And I'm like, holy cow, I'm getting big. And so I cut back. I didn't drink the Mountain Dew, and I lost that weight. But I was, did I ever tell you I was a cigarette smoker?
Yeah, you've mentioned that before.
Yeah. At one point, I lit up, and I say it this way, I lit up 3 packs a day. I went through 3 packs a day. I didn't smoke 3 packs a day because, really, you light it, you put it down. And back then cigarettes were cheap. So you'd light another one, put it down. You wouldn't relight the same one because it has that bad, nasty taste of a lit cigarette. But yeah, so really I probably smoked a pack a day, maybe less, right?
Okay, you smoked a pack a day and wasted 2 packs a day. Gotcha.
Yeah, but then toward the end, I would go through a pack, maybe 1 pack a week, If it was a stressful week, I might go through 2 packs a week. But so I'd cut way back. And but I put on a lot of weight again after I quit smoking.
Yeah, I heard that from a lot of my clients. Like that was their biggest thing about quitting smoking. They didn't want to gain weight.
They were scared about regaining or just gaining for the first time.
Right.
Because when I 30 years ago when I quit smoking cigarettes, it was February of this year. It'll be 30 years since I quit, and if I look back at the pictures, like I can pull you out some pictures and show you. My weight was pretty good at that time.
Yeah.
I was about 178 pounds.
That's
just under,
tiny. That's like Sam.
Yeah, 178 pounds, about just under 6 feet tall. So that's a good weight.
Yeah.
And now, yeah. Well, I'm not going to tell you how much I weigh, but it's more than that.
A little bit. Right.
A little bit here, a little bit here.
Yeah.
Right. And so you put that weight on, and folks, if you're listening to this, I'm sure you're nodding your head and you're agreeing to me with you're saying, yeah, I used to think bagels, were healthy. Mm-hmm. You did too. I used to think yogurt was healthy. I'm sure you did too.
Yep.
Breakfast cereal. I'd have a bowl of cereal for breakfast and I'd use skim milk on it.
Because it's more healthy.
Healthy. Right?
Yeah, I used to live on cereal. I loved it.
Instead of eating ice cream, I ate ice milk.
Yeah.
Right? All these things that really, and I was low fat. I went with the low fat. Everything was low fat, no fat.
Mm-hmm. High sodium.
Right? And then when I switched, I quit drinking soda. And I started drinking Lipton Brisk iced tea.
Mm-hmm. Yep, been there, done that.
Loaded with sugar.
Oh, I didn't have sugar in mine.
Yeah, well, the pre-made stuff in the bottle, yeah, it's loaded with sugar.
Uh-huh.
So you're going to see in my head, I'm doing everything that everybody else is doing,
right.
And I wasn't losing weight.
Right. And you didn't know why. You were like, wow, I'm purposefully making these changes, and yet I'm not getting results.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what went to my head. So guess what I did?
I don't know. Tell me what you did.
Quit. I quit.
Yes. And that's what happens to most of us.
Right. I quit. So,
I'm going to quit.
Yeah. So then I gave myself an excuse. I said, yeah, it didn't work for me.
Right.
This must be the weight my body wants me to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And wouldn't you say that in today's world, being politically correct kind of makes you stay fat?
What?
Well, because you don't want to say anything. You don't want to be politically incorrect. You don't want to, tell somebody, hey, that yogurt's not good for you.
Oh, well, that doesn't usually stop me too much.
Right.
And the reason is just like what you're saying right now is lack of knowledge causes people to perish,
Yeah.
and
in all areas. It's not just in dieting, but it's in all areas, right? I mean, all areas of their life. If they don't have the right knowledge, they're going to do the wrong thing. They're going to vote for the wrong person. They're going to eat the wrong food. They're going to drink the wrong this and they're going to get the wrong exercise, all these different things, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
you only know what you know.
Wouldn't you say that we've been taught really, well, you just don't exercise enough.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We haven't been taught how the body works.
Right. So we go into this with false ideas that, oh God, I'm just not exercising enough. I'm not going to the gym enough. That's why I'm overweight. Right. And then you find out that the studies actually say that as you get older, when you get over the age of 50, your body doesn't respond to exercise the same way it did when you were 20.
Right.
So you can go out there and you can go to the gym every single day.
Yep.
And then go home and jump on the scale and it doesn't change.
Right.
And it's not because you're doing the wrong thing. It's just that you have to realize that the exercise that you're doing isn't as effective because your body just doesn't respond to exercise the same way.
Right. I've got a guy down the road who's been walking this road for 20 years. Every day he walks down the road and back home again. And kudos to him for getting that, exercise every day for 20 or 30 minutes that he's doing. But he hasn't changed his body at all that I can tell. I mean, he's still got like a little pudgy tummy on him. And he doesn't seem to have a change of energy in his walk or anything like that. And he's probably got some good cardiovascular stuff going on. But every time I drive by him, I'm like, go lift some weights.
See, and that's the whole thing is that when you look at that, so is it a bad thing for him? I mean, he's not losing weight.
No.
But you're not gonna stop him along the road and say, hey, buddy, it's not working.
No, definitely not, because he's doing more than I'm doing. I'm not walking 30 minutes a day.
But he's doing something. There is something that goes on. So just because your body doesn't respond to it doesn't mean to quit.
Right.
It just tells you that maybe as you get older, you should start looking at how do you get your body to respond to the exercise again?
Right.
And I should have grabbed that product too. I didn't, but we can talk about that. So I think, we've set the stage. So now let's talk about, for me, since I got back from Europe, the first thing that I did, Andrea, when I got back from Europe is 2 days after I got back, I had a blood test done. Inside Tracker.
Yeah, you told me that.
And for anybody that wants to look at that, go on their website, Inside Tracker, and order the test. If you want to do what I did, it's a $99 test. And what they do is they tell you your inner age, So we talk about, I can look at this calendar that's on the wall back here, and I can look at that and I can say, I'm 57 years old.
Right.
But my cells, how old are my cells on the inside based on the stress that I put them under, based on the nutrition, based on this, based on that? You'd think with all the nutritional stuff that I do that my cells would be 19.
Right. Yeah,
right?
I think so, right?
I mean,
that's our
my God, I'm taking all sorts of products, But anyhow, so I had that test run, and Andrea didn't come back telling me that I was 19. And it said, Kurt, you have some issues here, 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 and just small things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took that along with the things I was already planning on doing, and I put together kind of a plan for me because it helps me come up with a plan. So one of the things that they told me was that I was eating too much red meat.
Okay.
And so because of that, they said, here's what you want to do is you want to eat vegetable protein, and you want to have more fish. And so based on their recommendations, I went with like today's a vegetable day. I'm only going to get all my protein from vegetables.
Okay.
Yesterday was a fish day. I only got my protein from fish. So I'm doing that. I'm doing 2 days a week red meat, 2 days a week fish, and 2 days a week where it's just vegetable protein. And then I give myself one free day. I can decide what I want to do. You know, if I want to get my protein from chocolate cake, I can do that.
Yeah, try.
But, you know, I mean, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to get it from chocolate cake, but I'm just kind of laughing about it. I get one free day, and you have to be sensible about it. You're not going to go out and eat just tons of bad stuff. You're not going to go to the buffet and just eat off the salad, off the dessert bar.
Right. You don't go gorge.
Yeah. But I might go out for breakfast with some friends, and I might go to lunch with some friends. I might go to dinner with some friends. And so I mean, I might eat a little bit more, but I'm not going to gorge myself on that day, because again, I'm teaching myself some willpower on top of that. And I'm making sensible decisions based on, you know, I'm not eating yogurt, and I'm not eating ice cream, and I'm not, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'm switching that around. But then the other thing that I'm doing is I'm trying to do intermittent fasting.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about that. How's that going for you?
You know, I like it. So what I'm doing is I give myself, it's a 2-hour window that I can eat every day. I got a 2-hour window, 22 hours I don't eat. I got 2 hours I can eat. And it's not that you're looking at it, you know, because some people might say, oh, I can cram in all the food that I want to eat in 2 hours.
No, you don't want to do that.
No, you have to be sensible about it. And so I eat one meal a day. And I plan it out, you know? So like last night, I looked, I went, okay, tomorrow's gonna be a vegetable day, vegetable protein. So I plan my meal out, and I plan when I'm gonna eat it, all these different things. And I mean, that's what I've been doing, Andrea. And really, honestly, it's going pretty darn good.
It's awesome. And, you know, people have to kind of figure that out for themselves. Like, what's the best time of day for you to eat? And food prep is the most important thing, I think. That's when we fail. When we don't have the correct foods to eat when we need to eat, then we're like running down to the gas station for a candy bar or something. You know, it's like you just got to do the food prep. You got to do the planning. You have to get serious about it.
Yeah, you can't have a bag of donuts in the house and plan on going on a diet. And you just go, well, I'm not going to eat them. No, you're going to eat them.
Yeah, you will. That's why I just don't buy that stuff. I buy candy bars, but I don't buy cake.
Well, you know, some days I'll be going through the, you know, my favorite store, Fleet Farm here. I don't know if you have Fleet Farm there, but it's, you know, it's like a Lowe's, but it's got everything. Or Home Depot. I know you like Home Depot. So it's like a Home Depot. It's got everything. And I go in there, and up right at the counter when you're checking out, you know, they got the candy bars, and they got this and that and all these different things, right? It's like tempting you.
Yes.
And I walk by there and go, oh man, I'd love to have a Snickers.
Right.
I like Snickers. I like Snickers candy bars. And I walk by there and I go, because I would do it. And Nut Goody candy bars. You know, my grandpa used to bring them home. You know, when we went to visit Grandma and Grandpa, here's your Nut Goody candy bars, or, you know, and so I walk by that aisle and I'm like,
thank God they don't have my favorite, which is Brock's peanut clusters.
Right.
Because they have that at Menards. So I don't buy very many things at Menards, because every time
you know you're going to get that peanut
cluster. I
cluster.
can't resist them.
So you change your lifestyle to know that, hey, Menards is going to try and sell me that candy bar. right? But bottom line is that after a period of time, you start going, I feel pretty good. And I'm not going to buy that candy bar because I actually feel pretty good. I mean, Andrea, I've lost 8 pounds.
That's great.
And that was with Thanksgiving in between there, where I went down to my mom's, and of course, pecan pie, apple pie, blueberry pie, lots of pies, and lefse, homemade lefse, and all sorts of food, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed there for 3 or 4 days with my parents. And, you got all this food, you're going to eat it.
Right. It's like being on a cruise.
And so even with Thanksgiving being in it, Andrea, I lost 8 pounds.
That's awesome.
Right.
Good job.
But on top of that, and I think this is just as important, I don't crave food.
Right.
It's not like I sit here and go, dreaming about, oh man, I wish I could have, no, I don't, because I have that one free day where I can have my ice cream if I want to.
Right.
And I have that one free day that if I do want to eat some whatever, it's my free day. And so you can do that. Or like Jimmy O'Keefe would tell us, on his testimonial, he still had a little bit. I mean, he has an ice cream factory. That's what he does. He owns an ice cream factory.
Oh, that would be hard.
Right? I mean, like if you call him up and say, hey, Jimmy, I'd like to have some, peanut cluster, butterscotch ice cream. I mean, he'll make it for you.
Oh, wow.
That's the kind of, and so, I mean, talk about a guy that had like all those temptations right there, and he lost a couple 100 pounds.
Yeah, that's great.
And he feels great. He's looking great, and he avoided surgery. And I mean, he probably sidestepped being dead.
Most likely.
He probably beat the Grim Reaper already, and for those of us that are, like I look myself in the mirror and I go, yeah, I gotta do it, or I'm not gonna be here.
Well, it's not easier the older you get. So
I've lost 8 pounds. I'm not hungry. My appetite, is, sure, I get some hunger pains once in a while. Like right now, I can feel a little bit in my stomach, kind of saying, hey, it's getting close to that time. It's 11:30. And, normally my feeding time, like feeding the fish, my feeding time is usually 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
And so as I get closer, but if you push through those hunger pains, scientists have shown that if you push through it, you're not going to they're going to go away.
Yeah. And you have to do some things to help you push through it instead of sitting there thinking about it. You get up and get busy, or you go start a project, or you do something to engage your mind.
Yeah. And I've got people that I've told them what I'm doing, and they say, oh yeah, I can't do that. I tried that intermittent fasting and it just didn't work for me. And, my doctor told me I'm hypoglycemic or I'm pre-diabetic, and that's not a good diet for me. And I said, well, I mean, think about it. If you go to bed and you sleep 12 hours, isn't that really intermittent fasting?
Oh yeah, you're not eating. That's why they call it a breakfast. You break fast. So you've skipped eating for 12 hours. So what if you just say, instead of eating at 8 o'clock in the morning, you don't eat breakfast till 9? Now you've increased it by 1 hour, and you go, okay, that's not so bad. And your body adjusts to it. And then you go 14 hours, then you go 15 hours, then you go 16 hours, and you go, pretty soon you're going 22 hours, and you're going, oh yeah, that hypoglycemic, BS that was fed to me was, BS. Right.
So what am I using? I mean, Andrea, here's one of my secret weapons.
Okay.
Every afternoon, I have a fire and iced tea. It gives me energy. It's you see on the package, it says thermogenic.
Thermogenic. Can you explain what that means?
Well, I mean, if your house is cold and you want to warm it up, what do you do? Let's just say that you had a wood furnace.
Okay.
What would you do?
Throw more logs on the fire.
Yeah, or you might throw in some better fuel, right? Like you might throw in some coal.
Okay.
right? Because coal burns hotter than wood,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Well, that's thermogenesis. So what does this do? It throws wood on the fire. It's iced tea, but it's got ingredients that throw wood on the fire.
Helps you burn
Thermogenic.
calories more.
Yeah, isn't that just a great product?
It is. It is. Tastes like mango.
All right. What a great. Hang on, my computer. But it's got ingredients that throw wood on the fire.
Helps you burn calories more.
Hang on. Yes, isn't that just a great product?
Replay.
Hang on. There. Some pop-up jumped on my computer and I tried to click it off, and then it clicked on the YouTube, or it clicked on my Facebook page. So we were listening to our.
Gotcha.
Right.
Well, it's like instant replay in football.
That's the instant replay. That's right. And then my other secret weapon is this one right here.
Sizzling.
Yep, sizzling. And in the beginning, when I first got started on what I'm doing, you know, I knew that I was going to wake up and I was going to feel hungry because I'm used to eating, you know, some breakfast.
Right.
Right. I'd have some eggs and some bacon and things like that, you know, because back when I was trying the ketogenic diet, they said eat more. And so I ate eggs and bacon for breakfast. Well, I mean, Andrea, I'll tell you, the ketogenic diet didn't work for me. I gained weight.
Yeah.
But I probably wasn't following it. So I knew that I was going to be hungry in the morning. I mean, I just knew that I was going to be hungry in the morning. So for the first couple of weeks, every morning, I would get up and I'd have myself a sizzling shake.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's 100 calories, 50 trace minerals. It's soy free. But what's really nice about it is that the way that they make the protein. Have you heard how Tom makes his protein?
Well, we talked about it here before, but go ahead and explain it.
So really bottom line is that whey protein is the liquid portion that's left over after you make cheese. So you got this liquid whey, right? W-H-E-Y, you know, like who was that girl in that nursery rhyme that ate her whey?
Curds and whey, yeah. I don't remember her name, but yep. Little Miss Muffet. Little Miss
Muffet sat in her tuffet, right? And anyhow, so whey is the liquid portion of cheese making. And what they found is that if they dry that up, you can get these proteins, and these proteins will actually help you lose weight. But in all of their wisdom, they superheat the whey, and it boils out all the water, and that leaves the whey protein. Well, when you superheat the protein like that, what it does, it causes it to become denatured. Right? Unnatural.
Right.
Unnatural. So you denature it when you superheat it. And the problem with superheating and denaturing it like that is that your body doesn't know what to do with it. So they found that most people that consume a protein shake, a protein drink that has denatured protein in it, that they actually lose muscle while they're losing weight. Yeah, they lost 20 pounds, but they lost 10 pounds of lean muscle at the exact same time.
Exactly what you don't want to do.
That's what you don't want to do. And so when you use undenatured protein, which is what we have in here, and I'll explain undenatured protein, they found that people who use undenatured protein actually gain lean muscle.
Yeah. And, you know, I've seen people, I have a friend who offers a protein product in her company, and they actually use that for marketing. They say, we have denatured protein. And I'm going, what?
Right?
Like it's something special, like you should have it.
Yeah. I mean, and so undenatured protein really is this. You take that same liquid whey and you run it through some filters, and then you air dry it instead of heating it. And now you don't make the protein unnatural. You keep it natural, undenatured, right? And so they found that people that use undenatured protein, what it does is it causes them to gain lean muscle. And so the studies on it show that if you drink a sizzling, it's going to help you build muscle. but even if you drink it at night, right before you go to bed. And so, Andrea, I started out, I had one of these for breakfast. And then gradually I just started kind of cutting back on the amount of sizzling that I would use until it was basically, I was just drinking kind of like a chocolate flavored water.
Yep.
And so I don't even do the sizzling in the morning anymore. And so I truly am not eating until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, about an hour and a half from now. And then in the evening, probably around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I have myself a sizzling shake. Because the sizzling shake at night, then, because of the fiber and because of the fact that it's building lean muscle, I can lose weight at night. And then the fiber fills me up so that when I wake up in the morning, I'm not hungry.
Right.
Because the fiber bulks up. It absorbs water and it bulks up. You want to see that again? It bulks up.
Well, I've been using that as an alternative to running to the gas station to get a candy bar at night when I'm having a chocolate craving. Like I'll go, oh, I've got my chocolate sizzling out there. I just mix some of that up and drink it.
Yeah, and
it gives me the same feeling like, okay, I've got my satisfaction for chocolate.
Yeah, and you said you put it in your coffee too, don't you?
I do. I put like maybe like a third of a scoop to a fourth of a scoop in my coffee, and it just makes it like a mocha coffee.
Mocha.
Mm-hmm.
Say that twice. Mocha.
Mocha. And then I have like a little electric hand blender, and I froth it up, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like what your friend Jane does. You know, she throws some of that oil in there. What kind of oil does she like? Ghee or something like that? Ghee or? Oh
yeah, it's like the butter stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
So you make it like a keto kind of drink. Yep.
Yeah. And so when I come out to visit you guys in Michigan, I always have to have her make me one of those because it really tastes good.
Yeah.
But
it's rich.
You know, so that's kind of my secret, you know, and so it's been effective for me. I mean, I'll tell you what, I sleep better now in the last month. I'll tell you, I haven't had this good a sleep. Oh, I bet I haven't had this good a sleep since, I don't think I've ever slept this good.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm not a good sleeper. I mean, the slightest noise, you know, wakes me up. And for the last 4 weeks, I've actually been sleeping really, really well. And I sleep soundly, and I wake up and I feel energized. I have lots of energy. You know, it's not like I'm cutting back on energy. And things are going well, and I feel good. I don't know if it shows yet that I'm losing weight, but I've had to put a couple new holes in my belt.
Awesome.
And so that's going good, you know, and you know, I'm one of, you know, I always like to mix science into my life, right? So I'm that guy that, you know, if I'm not, you know, and this might not sound right for those of you that are listening, you know, but I watch how I'm pooping.
Right.
Right. I mean, if I'm not having my 2 normal bowel movements a day, you know, then I start going, oh, I got to add something back in. Something's missing. Right.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, that's what you should be doing. You should be kind of examining if you're lacking energy, is there something wrong? If you have foggy thinking, what are you missing? You know, maybe you're not getting enough magnesium. And I mean, speaking of magnesium, the H2 sticks, I mean, what a great product that is too. I mean, because it just ramps up the hydrogen. And I mean, it's like what was that big balloon that blew up? The Hindenburg?
Yeah.
Hydrogen. Right? I mean, won't that add more fire to your, you know, more fuel to the fire too? And so, I mean, I do that, but Andrea, because I realized that when I start cutting back on what I'm eating, just like all of you, when you start cutting back on what you're eating, you're going to be missing some key nutrients in your diet. So I make sure and I take all my vitamins. I take the Encompass 360 every day. Mm-hmm. I use my Spectramax every day. I take the Eternity every day. I take the Fucoidan every day. I mean, just every day. I'm doing the age pill, you know, every day.
Yeah.
The Body Shield, because, you know, the one study that I read, and I mean, and again, you know, I kind of throw some science into that, but a study that I read years ago, it said that some people who are loaded with toxins, they're going to get to a certain point in their weight loss, and it's going to plateau out. And the reason it plateaus out is because their body is so loaded with toxins, their toxic load is so high that what ends up happening, that if their body burns that fat as energy, all of those fat soluble toxins, guess where they go?
Yeah.
Back into the system.
Mm-hmm.
And so if it's a fat cell that has, you know, let's say lead in it, and the fat cell is storing the lead because lead's fat soluble. If the lead is stored in that fat cell and you release that back into the system, not good, is it?
No, it's not. And, you know, that might be part of the reason that people, you know, because when we detox, typically we're tired. It might be part of the reason people go, oh, I can't do this diet because I'm just tired all the time. Well, maybe you're tired all the time because these toxins are getting released back into your system.
Right. But worse than that, Andrea, they show that your body will hang on to those fat cells, the ones that are loaded with toxins. Your body is smart enough to say, oh, we don't want to be sick. So they're going to hang on to those fat cells. So now instead of burning fat cells, guess what you start burning as energy? You start burning your muscle as energy.
Right. And you do not want to do that.
And you do not want to do that. So I take a product that we have called Body Shield.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who thinks of Body Shield as being a weight loss product?
Yeah. Unless we've talked to you, Doc, we don't.
Most people don't, because they've never read that study. And most companies, you know, you're not going to hear Jenny Craig saying, oh, Andrea, you need to do the fulvic acid thing.
Yeah.
Not folic acid, fulvic acid.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Yep.
So anyhow, you know, that's what I'm doing. It's working for me. And so why did I start in November rather than wait until January?
To get a head start, man.
Yeah, I want a head start on it because they show that the average person gains 5 pounds between Thanksgiving and New Year's. The average person gains 5 pounds between Thanksgiving and New Year because, you know, they start out by eating a lot at Thanksgiving, and then they have their Christmas get-togethers with their friends and family and work and things like that. Then they eat a bunch of Christmas. Then they celebrate New Year's.
Do that.
And then on the 2nd of January, they're trying to figure out, man, where did I get all that extra weight?
Right.
You know, the dry cleaner must have shrunk my pants.
Right.
I actually thought that once, but that's a different story. And so I decided I'm going to go on this thing. I'm going to lose some weight before I go into the holidays. I'm going to lose weight during the holidays. And that way, when January 1st rolls around, I'm going to already be having a head start, but I'm already going to have a plan in my head. I'm already going to have things written down.
Yeah.
So that I know what I'm going to do. Right.
So you can get 2020 just running.
And Christmas Day, yeah, that's going to be one of my free days.
Sure.
I'm going to plan ahead. That's a free day. You know, New Year's Eve, that's going to be a free day. I'm going to plan ahead. So I'm going to have, you know, this and this and this, you know, 6 days of eating, you know, smart. One day that maybe not so smart.
Right.
And my goal is, I'm going to give you my goal. My goal is that by next summer, actually by my birthday, April 6th, I want to be down 50 pounds.
Awesome. We're going to hold you to it, Doc. It's out there. It's recorded.
Yeah, I put it out there. So if I'm not down by 50 pounds in April, you can all come back and you say, what'd you do wrong?
Yeah, right.
Right. I'm gonna do it. And I you know, now that it's cold out, I mean, we got cold weather in North Dakota. I mean, I think last night it got down like -20 again. Fahrenheit.
Good thing you have all that exercise equipment in your basement.
So that's what I'm doing too, is I'm getting back into that exercise. And we want to talk a little bit about Sizzle Rip. You know, folks, I know I'm running overtime here a little bit, but I think it's important stuff. Sizzle Ripped, you know, it's got that cool picture of those, you know, muscle builders, right?
Right.
And really, if you look at some of the science behind the ingredients in Sizzle Rip, it was actually developed by the National Institutes of Aging. They funded part of the studies, the National Institutes of Health funded part of the study. And because they found that if you can get your brain to trick, or not trick, but to trip on the same mechanism, the same internal wiring that made you to respond to exercise like you did when you were in your 20s, when you were in your 50s and 60s and 70s, now you're going to respond to exercise like you used to.
Awesome.
So if you're going to the gym and you're going, hey, this isn't working for me, start taking Sizzle Rip. It'll work for you.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Andrea, folks, I'm sorry I ran over time today. We've talked for, about 45 minutes, just a little bit over 45 minutes. But I thought it was important stuff and important enough that I wanted to share all of it. I didn't want to skip part of it because, Andrea, next Tuesday is Christmas Eve day. My boys are going to all be here. We're not going to have a call.
Right. So we gave them a little extra today.
A little bit extra. We're throwing you a little bit more, a little bit more meat on the bone today. Go back and listen to it again next week. Get yourself fired up for the holidays and listen to it again. Listen to it again on New Year's Eve, maybe. I don't know. We'll have a call New Year's Eve, won't we?
Yeah, I might have a party again.
There you go. A New Year's party. Okay. So I'll let you close out the call. Thanks, everyone. Share this with people. Help them understand that, yogurt isn't healthy food.
Thanks, Doc. Thanks for sharing your journey with us and your goal. We're going to hold you to it. So thank you for that. And, folks, you can, if you're just randomly seeing this because a friend shared it or something, get back with your friend. If you have any questions about the products that Doc talked about today, you can always come over to the Facebook page, Doctor's Clinic, Doc Fizz with Friends, and it's a public page. You can come in there and you can look at any of the lives we've done in the past where we help people learn about how to optimize their health. So have a great holiday and we'll see you after Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas, Andrea.
Merry Christmas.